Good evening and welcome to the main news coming to you live from our Pockets Hill studios. I am Tariro Manamike with Susan Masona at the Sign Language Desk.
Great to have you along. My name is Butler Ndipure. These are tonight's top stories.
President Mnangagwa affirms value addition policy transforming Zimbabwe's economic structure.
Zimbabwe mourns 16 lives lost in Harare Nyamapanda bus crash. We'll give you details of what we know so far.
And in business, Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe to host Bankers Fair to unlock growth potential.
And we're looking ahead to the weekend. Harare Derby, Caps United plays Dynamos. We'll hear from Caps United coach on what the Green Machine has in store.
Now, those were our headlines. We kick off the main news with this story where ZANU-PF President and First Secretary Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa says the value addition and beneficiation policy is redefining the structure of the economy. He said this whilst he was addressing the 392nd ZANU-PF Politburo session at the party's headquarters in Harare this Wednesday.
The ZANU-PF Politburo meeting has come on the back of national events that were success. That is the National Independence Celebrations, which was held in Mampisa, as well as the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, which was officially opened by Botswana President Advocate Duma Boko. President Emmerson Mnangagwa described the value addition strategies that the party and government is undertaken as a way to go, which is critical towards transforming the economy.
Our bold and deliberate decision on value addition and beneficiation is fundamentally redefining the structure of our economy. Under ZANU-PF, Zimbabwe is steadily taking a seat within the global value chains space, not as a mere supplier of raw materials, but as a competitive producer of value-added goods. The export of Zimbabwe's first lithium sulfate consignment is a historic achievement towards the beneficiation agenda.
The President and First Secretary, Dr. Mnangagwa, emphasized the importance for members to acquaint themselves with the amended constitution while also upholding the existing unity and peace.
I call upon Politburo secretaries to continue taking a proactive and coordinated approach in crafting clear sector-specific policies that operationalize all aspects of the socio-economic policies advanced by our party. This includes identifying priority areas in industry and commerce, as well as strengthening institutional frameworks to consolidate economic growth while also creating wealth and employment opportunities for our people. As the Politburo, we are all first and foremost party members, guided by the party constitution. Fundamentally, with regards to our duties and obligations, I recall that the Secretary General recently gave all members of the Central Committee copies of our amended party constitution. I exhort us to reacquaint ourselves with the provisions of Article 3, Section 19 and subsection 1 to 8. This relates to duties of members. I want to plead with you that we should remain united, remain vigilant, and remain resolute as we consolidate the gains of the People's Revolution and the National Development Agenda.
The Revolutionary ZANU-PF Party has reaffirmed its commitment towards changing lives of communities through enhanced empowerment projects.
The generality of the grassroots membership and all citizens stand assured that ZANU-PF shall continue to adhere to the principle of putting people first. We are unflinching in our commitment to maintaining close bond with them, advancing their aspirations and concerns, as well as meeting their needs. Hence, all policies, programs, and projects must always be conceptualized as part of our continuous work to realize prosperity for all. To this end, I want to emphasize that under the Second Republic, ZANU-PF will never divert from the ongoing agenda to unite, to develop, and lead the nation towards a better life for all, no matter the challenges. I therefore expect us, the party leadership, to amplify this fact with an apologetic clarity.
The People's Republic of China is introduced a zero tariff among African economies, including Zimbabwe. President Emmerson Mnangagwa implored stakeholders to take the chance to ensure they grow their businesses and increase exports.
The decision by the People's Republic of China under the Common Development Initiative on zero tariff policy for African goods and products is now in effect. As such, stakeholders across all sectors must be appropriately empowered to leverage on this opportunity.
Over the years, the ruling party has endeared itself with the communities over the number of empowerment projects that are transforming communities across the country. Village business units are among the empowerment projects that have been rolled out, which are meant to transform rural economies. Bruce Chawanda, SABC News, Harare.
Now, the National Health Strategy Validation Meeting that has been held in Mutare has revealed that Zimbabwe has made progress in the fight against HIV and AIDS, standing out as one of the countries to meet and exceed the UN AIDS targets for adults. We'll be giving you that story during the course of this bulletin. However, Zimbabwe's diplomatic engagement in Europe continues to gather pace, with Romania being the latest to endorse the country's candidacy for a non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council, that is for the 2027 to 2028 term.
Foreign Affairs and International Trade Minister Professor Eamon Mudwira, who is in Romania as the special envoy of President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, presented his letters of appointment and delivered a message seeking Romania's support for Zimbabwe's United Nations Security Council bid. In a huge endorsement, Romania expressed support for Zimbabwe's bid.
We are in Bucharest, in Romania, where we have met with my counterpart, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Romania. In the meeting, I presented my letters of appointment as a special envoy of His Excellency the President, Dr. Edi Mnangagwa, to the Republic of Romania, as well as the letter stating the message of His Excellency the President, requesting for support for the non-permanent seat 2027-2028 in the UN Security Council for Zimbabwe. They expressed their support for Zimbabwe's bid for the UN Security Council bid, and we are very elated and very happy that our outreach, diplomatic outreach, authorized by the President, His Excellency Dr. Edi Mnangagwa, is leading to very fruitful results, which are not only increasing Zimbabwe's diplomatic footprint, but also making sure that we spread the message, friend to all, enemy to none, as well as Zimbabwe is open for business.
Discussions also centered on expanding cooperation in key sectors, including education, science and technology, as well as agriculture and industry.
We have discussed about several other areas of potential cooperation. The one that I've talked about is in science and technology and education. Then we have talked about trade in agriculture, as well as in setting up industrial plants in Zimbabwe. Romania is very good at automotive, in the automotive industry, and we look forward to them coming.
Romania's expertise in the automotive sector was highlighted as a potential area for investment in line with Zimbabwe's open for business policy. The two nations also explored strengthening diplomatic ties through increased representation, with Zimbabwe moving to accredit its ambassador in Germany to Romania, and plans are underway to establish a joint permanent commission on cooperation to further institutionalize bilateral engagement. Olina Nduri, ZBC News.
Hauna District Hospital in Manicaland Province is setting a remarkable benchmark in maternal health care, having recorded 0 maternal deaths since 2022, in a development that has been hailed as a major milestone in Zimbabwe's healthcare system.
This little life is part of a growing success story here at Hauna District Hospital. Since January alone, 446 babies have been safely delivered, contributing to more than 4,000 births recorded since 2022, all without a single maternal death. Health officials attribute this milestone to improved access to quality maternal care, stronger health systems, and dedication of frontline workers. For mothers in Honde Valley and surrounding areas, the facility has become a safe haven for delivery, with early booking, community awareness, and efficient referral systems playing a key role in protecting both mother and child.
Akatanga kumanheru ndobva ndangoti wamwe ndiperekedzewo kukiriniki, ndobva ndangota kuhabva ndaendeswa pakiriniki, bvangoti hazvichabudi, saka imimi chitoendai kuHauna tobva tangouya kuno.
Ndakabva ndichirwadziwa kumba, ndakasvika panapa kuma5 makuseni Saturday, ndoitwa operation kuma7, vakandibatsira zvakanaka.
Matron Tendai Serere, stationed at Hauna District Hospital, says the maternal success recorded at the facility has been made possible through early antenatal booking, the availability of blood, and strengthened referral systems, which have all contributed to improved maternal outcomes.
Kubva gore ra 2022 hatina mai vati vamborasikirwa neupenyu vachisununguka pano. Izvi zvinoburikidza nevashandi vedu vepano pachipatara vanoita basa nemwoyo wavo wese, uyezve tingati tine skilled workforce, ana mbuya mukoti, mamidwives edu vakadzidzira basa rekusunungutsa vanamai vakazvitakura.
As the country pushes towards achieving universal health coverage, the 0 maternal death record at Hauna District Hospital stands as a testament to what sustained investment in community engagement and committed healthcare delivery can achieve in protecting lives and building a healthier nation. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Mutasa.
Elsewhere, a National Health Strategy Validation meeting in Mutare has revealed that Zimbabwe has made progress in the fight against HIV and AIDS, standing out as one of the countries to meet and exceed the UN AIDS targets for adults.
The high-level National Health Strategy Validation meeting underway in Mutare saw health officials and stakeholders reviewing achievements under the 2021 to 2025 cycle as they set the roadmap for the National Development Strategy 2. Other milestones shared at the meeting include the rise in life expectancy from 59 years in 2021 to 65 years in 2024, and the investments in health infrastructure development for the past 4 years.
We continue consolidating the gains that we did in the first National Health Strategy 1, and with our national health strategy pointing to certain directions that we took, that is development of our infrastructure at all levels. We have been building health centers at the village level, clinics in the villages. We are also working on district hospitals, equipping them with the relevant equipment. I think almost now we are at 75% equipping our district hospitals with new laboratory equipment, new X-ray equipment, new anesthetic equipment. This also needs to be followed by a recruitment of staff to be able to utilize that equipment so that health delivery goes to the people.
The health sector has also moved towards advanced digital systems with key milestones including the rollout of digital filing systems and digital supply chains.
We are actually ready to implement the National Health Strategy 2026 to 2030. And we want to move with urgency from strategy to action.
The meeting also highlighted the decline in maternal mortality, which is now at 363 per 100,000 live births, and the rollout of the health workforce strategy as government plans to double the health workforce over the next few years. Gay Matambo, ZBC News, Mutare.
The construction of a 10-megawatt Gwai Shangani Lake mini hydropower station in Hwange district of Matabeleland North Province is progressing well, with a focus now on the civil works.
This is a 10-megawatt mini hydropower station here at Gwai Shangani Dam. We're actually at the site of the power plant. People are actually busy putting things, civil works together, ready for the installation of turbines.
First mooted in 1912, the Gwai Shangani Lake project is coming up with key ancillary infrastructure projects such as the main hydropower station. Significant structural works are underway, including the installation of key components that will support the power station.
To shed more light on progress made so far in terms of civil works, we are now joined by engineer Joachim Banda.
In terms of the cumulative progress, we are sitting at a progress of about 63%. As you can see behind me here, we are erecting the columns that will actually support the roof to the mini hydro. In terms of the design specifications, we are sitting at a net height of about 42 meters that will allow generation of 10 megawatts that will evacuate into the grid. We have about 5 megawatts installed turbines that will be installed, and a bypass that will serve as a measure in case we have any breakdowns to allow repairs to take place.
The Gwai Shangani Lake mini hydropower station is expected to boost electricity supply while contributing to Zimbabwe's transition to cleaner energy sources. Matabeleland North Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Richard Moyo, is impressed with the progress made so far.
Stand ukubonga i-treasury ngokuthi release imali lezo almost every month. Idam lethu kade sele ku 75% completion, and the power station eyakhiwayo laphana iyachova okumangalisayo.
The main hydropower station is expected to be completed before the end of the year, in line with the overall completion of the Gwai Shangani Lake project. Beyond water and electricity provision, the Gwai Shangani Lake is expected to unlock wide-ranging economic opportunities such as tourism and massive irrigation projects along the pipeline up to Bulawayo and beyond.
What is happening here at Gwai Shangani Dam, where this mini hydropower station is being constructed, feeds well into that vision whereby dams are not supposed to lie idle without generating a much to the economy. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Hwange.
And now to a story that has hogged the limelight during the course of this day and pretty much the afternoon. We now know that 17 people lost their lives after a bus accident that occurred along the Harare-Nyamapanda highway today, rather on Tuesday. Now, the accident occurred when a BRD luxury coach bus which was carrying 63 passengers was traveling from Cape Town, South Africa to Malawi, and it veered off the road and overturned. Details in the next report.
Road traffic accidents continue to be a major cause for concern, with this Tuesday's bus accident along the Harare-Nyamapanda highway near Suswe Business Center having claimed 17 lives. Eyewitnesses described the accident as highly disturbing.
ndobva ndanomira pakakwirira tarisa kudai ndakangoona bhazi richinobuda murodhi nespidi yaro kuratidza kuti bhazi ranga richimhanya.
Muna vanhu vanga vari trapped inside the bus, vamwe vakaburitswa nepamawindo, driver anga akatrepwa kumberi akatsimbirirwa nemuti. Kwozoita vanhu vanga vari mubhazi almost like mama nekamwana akaichema netu varume vaichema vari mubhazi imomo. I was the first one kupinda mubhazi imomo.
Takasvika around 4 tikisvika community yemuno mususwe ward nevamwe vese vaungana vachibatsira hama dzedu kanzo yekwamutoko nemudzi dzakabatsirana padambudziko irori.
The ZBC News crew also spoke to survivors who relived the horror crash.
We had a breakdown from 4:30 a.m. They pulled the bus to the garage. They tried to fix the problem, but the way they fixed it, it wasn't like 100%, like to everyone. The driver was speeding, and then suddenly the bus started to shake. All of a sudden, the bus flipped over, and we are all down. So it's very bad.
Just like 2 minutes, it happened so quickly. But what do you think happened? I think the brakes was not working.
Kotwa District Hospital authorities revealed that critical patients have been taken to Parerenyatwa Hospital in Harare, while most of the patients at the hospital and those in Mtoko are stable.
We had 6 patients who were in critical conditions with various injuries. We have so far transferred 5 out of the 6. The others critical it seems to be recovering well.
Mashonaland East Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Itai Ndudzo, also visited the accident scene before going to Kotwa and Mutoko district hospitals where the survivors are being treated.
There was a mechanical fault. The driver lost control of the bus and it veered off the road, eventually turning off and resulting in the passengers being trapped within the bus. But thanks to the sterling efforts of the District Civil Protection Unit, ably led by the Zimbabwe Republic Police and other security forces, they were frantic efforts to expeditiously assist the situation.
Minister Ndudzo says the government will go beyond its means to assist the bereaved and survivors. Kenya Stifuje, ZBC News, Modzi.
The government has announced plans to establish a research fund and institute the National Research and Development Funding target of 1% from the country's gross domestic product.
Recent data indicates that the total global research and development spending has neared $3 trillion United States dollars, with heavy investment in artificial intelligence, biotechnology and industrialization. And in line with the National Development Strategy 2, Zimbabwe has taken a bold step to transform and reshape the financing structure around its research and development, with the government signaling an intention to set aside 1% of the country's gross domestic product towards research. Now, this was reviewed by the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziyambi Ziyambi, as he outlined the key provisions of the Research Amendment Bill.
In this bill, we are introducing a research authority, and the councils now will be subordinate to the authority. The authority now, we have, among other provisions, setting up of a secretariat with a CEO heading the authority, and the key provisions basically now is that we are now going to create a research fund which the authorities oversee. It's now requiring government to progressively set aside not less than 1% of GDP towards research.
Basing on the country's recent economic performance, Africa Economic Development Strategies economist Ms. Ruvimbo Mushando broke down what 1% of the GDP would look like.
Using the 2025 GDP figure, the 1% is going to amount to around 560 million US dollars, and which will increase to around 590 million US dollars, which is a huge amount which is attributed to research and development.
With Zimbabwe's tertiary institutions spearheading research and development through innovation hubs, University of Zimbabwe Vice-Chancellor Professor Paul Mafumo called the move long overdue but yet historic.
This is historic, actually. When we build a high level of expertise, advances in technology, advances in innovation, and evidence-based decision-making, that's when a country would say they are a knowledge-based country.
The Research Amendment Bill will amend the Research Act as we know it. But overall, this is yet another testament of the Second Republic's actions speaking louder than their words by aligning legislation to policy as outlined in the country's economic blueprint. Panasha Nagoli, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, the government has domesticated the Comprehensive African Agriculture Development Program Kampala Declaration with a focus on transforming the country to becoming an agro-industrialization hub.
The Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, KADAP, Kampala Declaration, is an African Union policy framework aimed at boosting agricultural productivity, reducing poverty and ending hunger through investment. We managed to speak to the Minister of Agriculture, Mechanization and Water Resources Development, Dr. Enchas Masuka, on the sidelines of a sensitization workshop held in Harare this Wednesday on what it means to localize or domesticate the Kampala Declaration.
In terms of this transformation, Zimbabwe no longer wants to be considered as a food basket for the region. We want to transform to become an agro-industrial hub because we are centrally located in Southern Africa. We have very good climate, good soils, good rainfall, but more importantly, we have the talent to become that. So this sensitization is simply to say we've gone a step ahead, we've already domesticated, and here is the implementation roadmap, which is the Agriculture, Food Systems and Rural Transformation Strategy 2.
The African Union representative at the sensitization workshop, Dr. Rudoma Kuneke, speaks on Zimbabwe's commitment to align the Kampala Declaration in line with the African Union agri-food systems.
This meeting is a very important meeting for the government of Zimbabwe because it is marking its commitment to the continental vision of agri-food systems transformation. It is going to help us to ensure that there is alignment, there is coordination, and there is oneness in the planning as Zimbabwe embarks on the KADAP vision.
The Kampala Declaration urges member states to allocate at least 10% of their national budgets to agricultural productivity, land sustainable management, and market access, as well as food security. Munengwa, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe is expanding relations with the European Union in sectors such as arts, culture, agriculture, gender equality, and trade.
As Africa's largest trading partner, the European Union presents unique opportunities for trade and cooperation. Now, this Wednesday, European Union ambassadors accredited to Zimbabwe had a chance to meet and greet with the media here in Harare. Issues centered on trade and cooperation, as well as the cultural aspects, which are key to bilateral relations.
The economic partnership agreement since 2012 already in place with Zimbabwe, and that means that companies can export quota-free, duty-free to all 27 member states. We are looking at very much supporting to increase that because we want to see more trade between our countries. We're focusing on the horticultural sector where we see a large potential because Zimbabwe is strong there.
The German ambassador also took time to speak on the newly introduced mineral policy that was introduced by government, which seeks to promote a value addition of mineral resources for the country.
It is, of course, also from our perspective good if a country goes for value addition in the industrialization process. So that is something that we from the European side and also from the German side support since a long time, not only extracting raw materials and export them, but doing value addition on the ground here. The EU is very active. We have a couple of memoranda of understanding with other African countries on critical raw minerals. Unfortunately, not yet here with Zimbabwe, but value addition is a good thing.
With arts and culture central to the European Union, the diplomats also spoke of their engagements within this particular framework.
Italy is very active in cooperating with Zimbabwe in the cultural field. And we are working on a very interesting project with the National Gallery of Zimbabwe in Zimbabwe, in the National Gallery of Zimbabwe, there are around 10 paintings, masterpieces of the Renaissance epoch. 2 are also from France. And we are restoring, we are assisting, we are collaborating with the National Gallery to restore these masterpieces.
What we try to do is to make a partnership out of that relationship, to relate to the country itself by conveying messages from our side of what we do, but actually to try to bring those artists together, to establish partnerships so that their visit to Zimbabwe doesn't just mean that they performed here, but that they established some cooperation with local festivals.
The Great Zimbabwe Rehabilitation Project was mentioned. I just want to say that we are glad that it's achieved now, and it just has to be inaugurated at political level, which will be done in the months to come. So there is a brand new visitor center that is now built at the entrance of the site.
Zimbabwe continues to develop ties with the European Union, and conversation on trade and cooperation are central as Zimbabwe moves towards its engagement and re-engagement policy. Olina Ndori, ZBC News, Harare.
ZANU-PF affiliate Christian Youth Towards Vision 2030 says they are in full support of Constitutional Amendment Number 3 bill. They say it is designed to promote continuity and national development.
ZANU-PF affiliate Christian Youth Towards Vision 2030 has added its voice in support of Constitutional Amendment Number 3 bill, highlighting that if the proposed amendments sail through, Zimbabwe is destined for massive development without hindrance.
If CAP 3 sails through, it will bring policy consistency. If we have to look at one of the clauses, which is extending the terms from 5 to 7 years, this means Vision 2030 plans won't keep stopping for elections. When policies stay the same, big projects like roads, hospitals, factories, and so on get finished. Finished projects create stable jobs for youth, which will attract investors and help Zimbabwe reach upper middle income status by 2030 without starting over.
Ngakubonere kwanga nakutaluchedzere kune kwakuitiwa ngavane bakodana na haya mafungo a CAP 3 ndikubona ngari karalika na ulori risingatendera uri hei policy isaile through zvemba zvauri kadzi policy dzote dzidzajiwa kana mihumbulo yothe yaitwa ngamubuso aichakona uri ibe ichikoimiwa panda ichikokatiwa isingosvikelela hapo nekuti uri isvikelele hone zvichiyamba uri kararikana ulori CAP 3 yasaila through vaswa vakotakuliwa rupfumo rwashango rukotakuwa so uri kubona ngari CAP 3 ndi chitu chine chavati chavudi kaborine vaswa baZimbabwe.
We are dealing with the youths that are in the church. Then we are coming in support of CAP 3 in the fact that the extension of terms for both the presidents and the National Assembly will allow us more time, especially on youth programs that are currently being given out. So we are saying these youth programs, without disturbances, if given time, they will make the youth from the churches actively participate in economic activities.
The consultation phase of the Constitutional Amendment Number 3 bill is set to conclude on the 18th of this month, after which the bill will proceed to parliamentary debate. Aifeli Mudau, ZBC News, Bridge.
Now be sure to follow us on our social media platforms. That's on X, on YouTube, as well as on Facebook with our handle at ZBC News Online. Alternatively, you can visit our website, that's www.zbc.co.zw.
And of course, there are those that are currently watching live on Facebook. You can also follow the live stream on Facebook as well as on our X handle. There are stories to come on this bulletin, and this is what you can look forward to. Well, the Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe set to host the Bankers Fair to unlock growth capital. Later on in sport, we will hear from Caps United head coach Tekshua Chiragwi ahead of the Harare Derby, which takes center stage this weekend. Be sure to join us for that and more when we come back.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is pleased to advise the public that the upgraded Big 5 ZiG banknotes are now in circulation effective 7 April 2026. The new Big 5 ZiG banknote series has been distributed across the country in sufficient quantities to meet anticipated cash demand. The rollout begins with 10 ZiG, 20 ZiG, and the new 50 ZiG note. The 100 ZiG and 200 ZiG will be introduced gradually. 1 ZiG, 2 ZiG and 5 ZiG coins remain in circulation, and the previous ZiG banknotes will continue to circulate alongside the upgraded Big 5 ZiG notes. They will gradually be phased out. The upgraded ZiG banknotes are available through banks, ATMs, and HomeLink kiosks nationwide. Let's embrace and use the upgraded Big 5 ZiG banknotes with pride and confidence. ZiG. Stable, secure, sustainable.
Zimbabwe is building. Zimbabwe is moving. The newly completed Mucheke and Manyame River bridges along the Harare-Masvingo By-Bridge Road stand as powerful symbols of progress under the NDS2. The Mucheke Bridge forms a vital part of the Masvingo Urban Bypass, strengthening a key link along the busy north-south corridor to By-Bridge border post. The Manyame Bridge, with its 110-meter deck and deep-driven piles reaching 25 meters into solid rock, showcases advanced engineering delivered by local contractors. Built to SADC standards and designed for 100-year durability, both bridges ease congestion, enhance safety, and support growing freight traffic. Once a notorious bottleneck stretching toward Masvingo Polytechnic, this route now flows efficiently. With over 540 kilometers rehabilitated on the Harare-Masvingo By-Bridge Road, communities are connected and economic opportunities unlocked. This milestone reflects the visionary leadership of His Excellency, President Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa. The Manyame and Mucheke bridges, more than crossings, symbols of resilience, progress, and a pathway to national prosperity.
Meet Taku, a young quality controller shaping excellence every day. Through Zimbabwe and European Union trade partnerships, Taku's quality reaches shelves abroad. Taku trains others to sort, seal, and check quality with confidence. From her laptop to the cold room, she understands the full journey to global markets. Skill, confidence, growth. That is Taku's path, and she is bringing others forward with her.
The world is moving fast. Are you keeping up? At MSU, we don't just give you a degree, we give you relevance. Your schedule, your rules. Full-time, block, or weekend sessions. We fit into your life so you can fit into the future. From Gweru to Harare and everywhere in between, this is more than a university. It's a launchpad for the innovators of tomorrow. Secure your spot. The August 2026 intake is live. Quick, secure, life-changing. MSU. Don't just dream it, drive it. Midland State University. Our hands, our minds, our destiny.
We've always known what it takes to grow. But this is what it feels like to finally step inside the dream. It's that quiet moment when a room holds everything it used to be and everything it made possible. That this is actually mine feeling when the first payment hits. That pure adrenaline from a small space to an empire you rule. And when you said you'd almost sleep in your first car, we made sure you actually did. Plans may adapt, circumstances will evolve, but your growth, that's non-negotiable. Bank on growth with Stanbic Bank Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is our home, and we drive her growth.
Stanbic Bank is a registered commercial bank and a member of the Deposit Protection Scheme.
Welcome back and thank you for watching. We continue with the main news bulletin. The government is maintaining a market-driven approach to ensure that the Zimbabwe gold currency remains stable, reinforcing a policy shift that is aimed at curbing volatility and fostering long-term confidence in the local currency.
Debate resumed in the National Assembly this Wednesday during a question and answer session, with one of the critical issues that dominated the debate being the stability of the local currency, the Zimbabwe gold. Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion Deputy Minister Honorable Dakwashe Mnangagwa assured the House that fiscal authorities are allowing market forces dictate the local currency's trajectory, while emphasizing on the stability of the ZiG currency.
Panyaya yemafuta tinorega vanomatenga nemari dzekunze vachimatengesa nemari iyoyo, asi vachazoda zvakare kuti vabhadhare mutero nemari yemuno. So munoona pane mamwewo service station asati awanda zvavo asi mashoma ari kutengesa nemari yemuno. Tinoona kuti kana vagutsikana kuti mari yedu yakasimba vachange vakutengesa nemari iyoyo. Policy yatiri kuita sehurumende is a market driven approach. Hatidi kumanikidza munhu kuti mari yedu yakasimba, vanhu vanofanira kugutsikana voga kuti yakasimba. Isi tichitora matanho sehurumende kuona kuti inoramba yakasimba yakatsigirwa.
Meanwhile, government indicated it has partnered with network service providers on a broadband mapping exercise to gather data on areas that are currently lacking network access, allowing for targeted infrastructure development. Legislators also sought clarity on government's position regarding the rehabilitation of deep tanks and availability of cattle vaccines.
We are also looking at mechanisms of ensuring that the cattle dipping regime retains where it ought to be. We have 4,211 deep tanks in the country, and the responsibility to ensure that acaricide or dipping chemical is availed lies with both the cattle owner and government.
Some of the issues that were debated in the lower house include projects under devolution funds and the issue of drug and substance abuse. John Nandara, ZBC News, Mount Abdel.
The government has commissioned new water infrastructure and 2 modern refuse collection trucks in Victoria Falls as the Second Republic pushes to enhance essential service delivery across the country.
Despite being located a stone's throw away from one of Africa's largest water bodies, the city of Victoria Falls has been grappling with persistent water challenges. The crisis wasn't due to lack of raw water, but a critical deficit in storage capacity. Today, that narrative was changed as the city of Victoria Falls unveiled a $5 million United States investment, the first phase of a broader $18 million United States wash program designed to finally fill the gap between the river's abundance and the residents' taps.
Ivura yokunwa yekebe shupa yekebe ayekebe wanika unshaji no nshaji, especially unshaji tikasika mwana August to October to November ivura yekebe shupa sibili ngase si commissionwa ama trucks lawa sokusicho ukuthi khona idorobho lethu seliyahlala lismart.
Sesihlala ku Victoria Falls esmart singahlali lengcekeza ezindlini siyabe sikwazi ukuthi ngelanga lokuthi akusela excuse yokuthi akula truck ifile.
The city of Victoria Falls says the commissioning of the Mkosana Reservoir and refuse compactors marks a major service delivery breakthrough.
We are already operating above the prescribed minimum standards, particularly in water, having achieved 100% coverage, which is above the 2026 target of 90%.
The central government has held the move as a blueprint for other local authorities. Presiding over the event, the Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Honorable Daniel Gare, noted that the era of excuses regarding basic service delivery is over as the Second Republic intensifies its oversight on municipal performance.
What we are witnessing today is confirmation of positive responses from our local authorities, Victoria Falls in particular, to the clarion call by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, on no compromise to service delivery by local authorities. Service delivery in terms of ensuring that residents in the various cities have got access to clean, safe, drinkable water.
This development falls squarely within the framework of the minimum service delivery standards, a government directive that ensures every citizen, regardless of location, enjoys a baseline of water, sanitation, and waste removal. Yolande Moyo, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
In support of efforts by the government to end drug and substance abuse, the church is also implementing various measures that are aimed at preventing drug abuse in the society. And we give you the details in the next report.
The fight against drug and substance abuse cannot be won single-handedly by government without support from stakeholders. Advocates, including the church, are coming up with initiatives aimed at reducing drug abuse in society. This Wednesday, the United Methodist Church, in collaboration with the Ministry of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, conducted a special drug abuse awareness session targeting the youth.
Church, ibasa redu, kubatana ne hurumende, kubatana ne community ne societies, kuti tiparidzire nekuramba kuti no kwete kune zvinodhaka zvinokubata wana wedu wakuru newadiki.
We want people to have more information in the activities that we've had recently in communities. Most of our teenagers said they went into drugs because they didn't know, they didn't have enough information.
Kubva January kusvika 30 April, isusu se-CID Drugs and Narcotics takasunga vanhu vanoita ivo 5,731. Panhamba iyoyo varume i4,110, vakadzi i1,621. Then vanhu vatakaendesa kudare i2,552. Vatinoti masuppliers takabata ivo vanhu vanoita 889. Pama end users takabata vanhu vanoita ivo total number 4,910. Then takakwanisawo kusekiwa ma-convictions vanoisvika ivo 849. Then takakwanisawo kudestroya mabases nationwide anoita ivo 82.
The Minister of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Senator Monica Mchangwa, highlighted government's commitments to winning the war against the abuse of drugs.
The government established a robust legal and policy framework to guide the national response to this pandemic. And this response is anchored by a high-level interministerial committee which is chaired at the highest level by a member of the Presidium, Minister of Defense, Honorable Opam Chinguri Kashir. This interministerial committee, which brings in other stakeholders, provides strategic oversight and coordination of the national drug and substance abuse response.
Government is intensifying its nationwide crackdown on drug abuse, targeting suppliers, distributors and users in a bid to dismantle illicit drug trade. Festus Mkunguru says, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, the government's thrust towards building an innovation-driven industrialized economy under the National Development Strategy 2 is gaining traction, with Gweru hosting the inaugural Midlands Provincial Skills Competition. The program is part of the Ministry of Skills Audit and Development's nationwide drive to align skills development with production, value addition and job creation in line with Vision 2030.
The Provincial Skills Fair in Gweru is unlocking innovation as exhibitors present practical industrial solutions spanning mining, agriculture, manufacturing, ICTs and visual arts from the province's 8 administrative districts. Ideas here are moving from concept to industry, innovation targeting job creation and economic resilience.
It's empowering us to kuita zvinhu zvedu toga, because there is not much
that was done manema huge machines, just basic welding.
We are adding value yekuti munhu acha kotami acha bende acha iti fatigue pakurima.
From the mbe, this is the powder, which treats almost about 185 diseases. So we are training our kids to respect our heritage, because our heritage is our future.
Government is aligning skills to economic clusters under the National Development Strategy to transform the gross domestic product.
The province GDP is anchored by a plethora of skills in various sectors that include mining, agriculture, construction, manufacturing, tourism, and retail, is aptly demonstrated through this skills fair. The aforementioned priority area focuses on job creation through value addition in support of industrialization, entrepreneurship development, and targeted youth programs.
Chirongwa chekuda kushandura mamiriro atinoita isu mabasa edu kumaruwa zvichienderana nekusarudza nekuongorora nekutsvakirudza umhare huri muvana vedu panyaya dzekufunga zvazingati izvo matarenda edu atiinawo kuti izvo anoringana nevision yenyika yatoti vision 2030 agozobatana zvakare neNational Development Strategy yedu 2.
Top innovations proceed to national finals in October as ideas turn into enterprises. From classrooms to factories, the industrial transformation goal is to lead an innovation-driven economy by 2030. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Gweru.
A funeral parade for the late Colonel retired Patron Kuchwekaya was held at Impizo Barracks at Bulawayo this Wednesday. I beg your pardon, in Bulawayo this Wednesday.
Colonel retired Patron Kuchwekaya has been remembered for serving his nation with distinction before and after independence.
So sathala sonke sahlanga kakhulu sayalungisa i-refugee camp thina ishasalungisa isayagebha amali amagodi emathole e-refugee camp e-Francis Town lapha. Siyaba sonke isikhathi eside ngoba awusikhathi sedidandi lapha. Sasuka lapho sahlala sonke futhi ngapha eNampundi. Fike eNampundi waba umplatinum commander wami eplatinum 3. So sahlala isikhathi eside isikhathi sezipha. Sasuka lapho
The senior officer who died on May 1 at United Bulawayo Hospitals was honored for his sterling work in nation building and contribution to national sovereignty.
Umnewethu besisithi nxa sisiba lembuthano kumbe imichato kumbe imingcwabo nguye umuntu ebesimthembile ukukhuluma ngembali yomdeni wethu.
Zimbabwe National Army Chief of Staff Quartermaster Staff Major General Simo Maseko chronicled the late Army officer's colorful career on the war front and his role in independent Zimbabwe's defense forces.
During his tenure in the logistics department, he opened Chinyunyu base, which provided logistics support to Tembisa 1, the Tembisa 2 bases ezazingapha ekhaya. At ceasefire in end of 1979, he went to Rikomesh, or abanye bayazi Papa Assemble Point, and later relocated to Mashumbi Pools. On the 1st of October 1980, sesibuya ku Zimbabwe National Army Lab, the late senior officer was attested into the Zimbabwe National Army. He was nominated to attend the standardization course at Inkomo Barracks. He also attended the senior learners course at PECO Training School, and on completion of this course, he was commissioned as an officer and was posted to headquarters 1 Infantry Brigade as the paymaster, Lapa Bulawayo. The late senior officer had a wide range of operational experience. He participated in the Mozambique campaign. He participated in the DRC campaign, and wasebenzisa ulwazi lakhe olwempini that he gained during the liberation struggle.
Born in Choloche in 1951, Colonel retired Kuchekaya left Zimbabwe in 1976 to join the armed struggle. He trained in Tanzania and the then Soviet Union before being deployed to the Zambezi escarpment in areas including Kariba, Chirundu and Kanyemba. After independence, he joined the Zimbabwe National Army and rose through the ranks to become colonel. He was 75. He is survived by his wife and 5 children. He will be buried this Thursday at Lady Stanley Cemetery.
Now, the Permanent Secretary for Presidential Affairs and Devolution in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Engineer Tafadzwa Muguti, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to the preservation and protection of wetlands. Engineer Muguti was speaking after conducting a tour of Munavel wetland in Harare.
His Excellency recently addressed COP right here in Zimbabwe, where many people came from around the world to listen on environmental management. And His Excellency's goal is about preserving the environment. As it is, the President is very clear through Cabinet that we gazetted wetlands, and after having gazetted wetlands, we've actually managed to publish that map. So there's no one in City of Harare or the Minister of Local Government who does not know what gazetting means. As government, we are steadfast through the Ministry of Environment to continue protecting our wetlands. But more has to be done. The Ministry, EMA, the police, and even the Ministry of Local Government, and especially the provincial government, have to be more agile.
And that story takes us to a break. After we come back, we'll be giving you the business news. Stay tuned.
The Honorable Minister of Mines and Mining Development, Dr. Engineer Polite Kambamura, the Deputy Ministers, Honorable Engineer Caleb Makuranzo and Honorable Engineer Fred Moyo, Senior Management and staff of the Ministry of Mines and Mining Development would like to extend a hearty congratulations to Dr. Thomas Wutete Wushe on his appointment as Permanent Secretary for the Ministry. Your wealth of experience and proven leadership come at a pivotal time for our nation's extractive industry. We are confident that under your guidance, the mining sector will continue to be a cornerstone of economic growth and sustainable development. We look forward to a productive professional relationship as we work together towards an upper middle class income economy by 2030. The ministry would like to express its sincere gratitude to the outgoing secretary, Mr. Pungwa Kunaka, who was transferred to the Ministry of Public Service, Labor and Social Welfare.
Meet Taku, a young quality controller shaping excellence every day. Through Zimbabwe and European Union trade partnerships, Taku's quality reaches shelves abroad. Taku trains others to sort, seal, and check quality with confidence. From her laptop to the cold room, she understands the full journey to global markets. Skill, confidence, growth. That is Taku's path, and she is bringing others forward with her.
Hundreds of battles fought across the continent by the princes of Europe. Astonishing! But history doesn't care who almost won. It only remembers the name on the trophy.
Where does football go from here?
One night to decide it all on the ultimate stage, 30th of May. Stay connected and watch DSTV to catch the UEFA Champions League final. It's on.
Meet Taku, a young quality controller shaping excellence every day. Through Zimbabwe and European Union trade partnerships, Taku's quality reaches shelves abroad. Taku trains others to sort, seal, and check quality with confidence. From her laptop to the cold room, she understands the full journey to global markets. Skill, confidence, growth. That is Taku's path, and she is bringing others forward with her.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. We now give you the business news. With Zimbabwe having successfully won the bid to host the Intra-Africa Trade Fair Company in Harare, the Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe will host a bankers fair next month to mobilize funding for additional hotel capacity. Our reporter Owen Mandova speaks to the president of the Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe, Ms. Emma Kativu, on the scope of the fair.
So Emma, just highlight to us some of the benefits that come along with Zimbabwe becoming host to the Intra-African Trade Fair Company.
This is going to be a real big opportunity for us to showcase what Zimbabwe has to bring, not just in terms of accommodation or accommodation operators, but when visitors come in, they are also going to have a taste of Zimbabwe in terms of the other clusters. They're going to enjoy the activities, eat out. Our restaurants are going to benefit. Those that offer activities, for example, soft game, the safaris, they are also going to benefit from that. Not only that, even our fast food, because they are going to be eating from there, our shuttle services, our InDrive, even the companies that provide transport, it cascades down the downstream, even to the person who sells airtime, or even in our supermarkets.
Obviously, there are challenges that are presented by this huge development. Can you tell us some of the challenges that come along with Zimbabwe hosting the IATF headquarters?
Harare needs to have about 23,000 rooms. And currently our stock is sitting at about 11,000. And that means that we definitely need to invest and get up to 9,000 rooms.
So as the Hospitality Association of Zimbabwe, what are you doing to ensure that Zimbabwe has got adequate tourism facilities?
What we have then decided is let's speak to the banks. Let's have a bank fair where we speak to all those that are involved in financing such projects. That's our banks, our microfinance banks, and ask them what products do they have. Can we collaborate in some way so that we are able to meet this mandate that the government has given the tourism sector to prepare for such a big event and such a big task on hand. And so from the 2nd to the 3rd of June, we're inviting banks and microfinance or any other investors who might want to come in and partner. And here we're talking about even the construction companies or those that might want to be involved in the value chain to assist us to meet this challenge.
Thank you, Emma, for granting us this opportunity to talk to you. Last year, during the Intra-African Trade Fair, which was held in Algeria, more than 120,000 visitors and exhibitors managed to attend this grand fair. And obviously, Zimbabwe is going to see huge benefits as it is going to host the Intra-African Trade Fair headquarters, which is a huge diplomatic success for the government of Zimbabwe, as it is going to harness not only the tourism industry, but trade, as Zimbabwe is going to play a big role in terms of the continent's trade. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
And that is our look at business news. And our next stop is the arts, and we are in Venice, Italy, where Zimbabwe is among 100 countries taking part in the 61st International Art Exhibition of La Biennale di Venezia in Italy. This marking is Zimbabwe's 8th appearance, and the country is presenting what is called Second Nature, an exhibition that is reflecting on identity. Some moments ago, I spoke to Patience Nyagato. She is our reporter who is in Italy, particularly to give us updates on what has been taking place ahead of the official opening of this showcase.
Thank you very much, Butler. Good evening.
Indeed, the 61st Venice Biennale, one of the world's most prestigious contemporary art showcases, is now underway here in Venice, bringing together close to 100 countries, with Zimbabwe proudly among them. Zimbabwe's participation is not just about art, but also soft diplomacy, engaging with the global community through culture and creative expression. And just to give you a sense of the atmosphere here, despite all the light and the movement around us, it's actually after 8 p.m. So today has been quite eventful. The curator Fadzaim Chemwa and the 5 participating artists were putting the final touches to their exhibition ahead of the official opening this Friday. There is a strong sense of anticipation as the showcase comes together. Also present was the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture, Mr. Nicholas Moyo, who was assessing progress alongside other stakeholders and visitors. We spoke to some of the artists during the day. Gideon Gomo, who said his work is inspired by religion, while Franklin Zingai's mixed media pieces reflect his roots and history, using archival imagery to reconnect with the past.
This one is like one of the most profound Zandatinda exhibitors so far, because this is like the Olympics of art. Everyone that you can think of, Anichagwitane art right now in this city. This piece we have here, it focuses more on worshipping, more on praising the Lord, more on who we are as human beings.
Mabasa angu ndakatanga pa National Art Gallery. Ndo pandakadzidzira zvekudraw mifananidzo. Nhasi ndiri kunoku kuVenice. Kune stage yakanaka yekunyatsoratidzira basa rangu. Rekuti hakuna imwe stage kupfuura inwei rekuti unonyatsoonekwa mabasa rangu zvokuti ndinokwanisa kuendera mberi. Saka ndiri kufara nekusarudzwa kwandakaitwa kuti ndinge ndichimirira Zimbabwe.
We also caught up with the National Gallery of Zimbabwe Executive Director, Mr. Raphael Chukukwa.
National Gallery of Zimbabwe, through the Ministry of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture, we have been here at Santa Maria since 2011. Venice Biennale is one of the oldest and the biggest biennale in the world, where you have more than 99 countries participating every Venice Biennale. So you, in terms of cultural diplomacy, your artists are showcased, your country is showcased, and people who come here from now up to the end of the year, you're talking about at least about 35 million. So the image of the country goes beyond what we think, because the people who come here to Venice are the people that matter in the art world.
Now, but the rain is pouring, so I have to wrap up. Zimbabwe continues to make its mark on the global art stage, and eyes are now on the official opening set for this Friday. That's all we have for now. Speak to you.
Well, it's a big stage indeed in Venice, a big stage for artists. Patience Nyakato is in Venice, Italy, and she will be giving us regular updates as to how the event will be going and how our artists will be faring in that regard. Well, be sure to join us for sport when we come back.
Hundreds of battles fought across the continent by the princes of Europe. But history doesn't care who almost won. It only remembers the name on the trophy.
Where does football go from here?
One night to decide it all on the ultimate stage, 30th of May. Stay connected and watch DSTV to catch the UEFA Champions League final. It's on.
Meet Taku, a young quality controller shaping excellence every day. Through Zimbabwe and European Union trade partnerships, Taku's quality reaches shelves abroad. Taku trains others to sort, seal, and check quality with confidence. From her laptop to the cold room, she understands the full journey to global markets. Skill, confidence, growth. That is Taku's path, and she is bringing others forward with her.
Welcome back. You're still on the main news. Let's take a look at sport. Zimbabwe and Belarus have signed a memorandum of understanding to deepen cooperation in sport in a move that is expected to transform athlete development and strengthen bilateral relations. Zimbabwean athletes and officials are said to benefit from world-class training facilities and technical expertise in Belarus after the agreement that was signed in Minsk. The deal was formalized by Zimbabwe Minister of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture, Lieutenant General retired Anselm Sanyatwe, and his Belarusian counterpart Sergei Kovalchuk, paving way for collaboration across disciplines including tennis, football, swimming and athletics. Minister Sanyatwe described the agreement as a major boost for Zimbabwean sport, highlighting opportunities for specialized coaching, international exposure and knowledge exchange. Now, his Belarusian counterpart reaffirmed the commitment to supporting Zimbabwe's sporting growth, with both nations exploring the possibility of training camps, skills development programs and joint competitions.
Now, the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation has welcomed back veteran sportscasters Barry Manandi and Mike Madoda after a 9-year break from the national broadcaster.
It was like the NBA. NBA took over UEFA for a second. Absolutely.
Veteran broadcasters Barry Manandi and Mike Madoda are back on ZBC airwaves after a 9-year break from the national broadcaster. Speaking just after their flagship Sportsline show on Power FM, the sportscasters said they are elated to be back.
It's good to be back. We call the hill home. This is where the journey began so many years ago, in exactly these confines. We were brought back by the fact that, you know what, we needed a breath of fresh air, and Power FM and indeed ZBC is on an upward trajectory.
We believe that sport is about entertainment, and so we don't want to change anything. When people go to stadiums, they're there to watch players make magic on the field, and so we believe that we make magic in the studio when we do our analysis, our discussions, and then they're a big part of what we do because the interaction between us and the listener is a critical component of what we do. I think, like Mike said, their manager being really keen on making history.
The veterans are joined by their Sportsline colleagues, including Farai Christine Nidzi.
I think Sportsline is a team effort. I think we all have our different strengths and how we contribute to the show, and it adds so much color. And we've just moved as a pack, always.
Power FM station manager Leander Candiero said the move is part of efforts to attract a youthful audience.
We are designing programs that will entertain, inform and educate the young people of Zimbabwe. We actually launched something called Voices Against Addiction last year, and so far in this year, in 2026, we've been to Mwast Marondera, we've been to the Harare Polytechnic. We also had several broadcasts here at Pocket so that speak to the young people.
Now, Sportsline will air on Power FM every weekday from 1700 hours to 1800 hours.
And I'm sure they'll also be talking about the upcoming Harare Derby. That is the match between Dynamos and Caps United, always attracting fireworks, particularly when the two teams are doing well. Let's hear this report from Anashe Mrumbezi.
Last season, they were scrapping at the bottom. Two Harare Giants, Caps United and Dynamos, fighting relegation like a drowning man clutching at straws. Fast forward this season, the script has been ripped apart, rewritten in gold ink. Caps United sit top of the Castle Premier Soccer League with 22 points, and the Dynamos are breathing down their necks at 5th with 17 points. But here is a twist. Both the teams enter this derby wounded. Dynamos haven't won in 4th straight league assignments, including their recent 2-1 loss to Chicken Inn, and Caps United come in smarting from their own recent setback following a 1-0 defeat to Blower Chiefs. To make it more interesting, flamboyant businessman and philanthropist Sir Wick Nochivayo drew a battle line in the sand for Dynamos to beat Caps United, and a luxurious bus will be theirs, which makes the derby worthy fighting for. Dynamos coach came out first, framing this as a psychological war for two teams licking wounds. The mental fortitude to walk into Rufaro when a defeat still stings, that's the real battlefield. Then Caps United's Tekshua Cheragui comes in fearless, focusing on form and scoring, taking the positives and weaponizing them.
It's also a very good work that we are doing for them to get into those spaces to make sure they can miss, but they're getting into the great positions. So when you get there, definitely we're going to get more goals. For the games that we've played, I think we managed to get goals, but we need more. And you could see how we are creating those chances. But I know one of the days we are going to score so many goals. It's not far, it's very soon. But there's so many positives that we also need to take from the players. The effort, the spirit, fighting spirit, the keeping possession. So at the end of the day, the result will differ the way you want.
This is not just about 3 points. It is a referendum on who runs Harare, with the Caps United proving their table-topping form and the Dynamos proving their 4-game winless streak is a blip, not a breakdown. It's either Chivayo's bus rolling into the Dynamos car park or becoming a ghost story that will be told for years. Anna Shambrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe Tertiary Institution Sports Union Games have officially kicked off at the Harare Polytechnic, bringing together athletes from universities, polytechnics, as well as teachers' colleges for this year's multi-sport competition.
The ZITS Games kicked off on a high note at the Harare Polytechnic, bringing together athletes under various associations such as the Technical Education Sports, Arts and Recreation, Zimbabwe Teachers Colleges Sport Association, and Zimbabwe University Sport Association. The games, which are held annually, provide a platform to promote health, talent development, unity and social integration among students.
We have gathered here at the University of Zimbabwe for the Zimbabwe Tertiary Sports Competition that is scheduled from today up to the 9th. We have set today for athletics. We are going to meet South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, Eswatini. They are all going to represent their countries at that competition. Globally, if you check around, varsity sport is the main source for the league programs. Our universities, our polytechnics and teachers' colleges are producing very good talent that is feeding into our national sports associations.
As the tournament runs through to Saturday, focus remains on fair play, discipline, and showcasing the depth of sporting talent within Zimbabwe's tertiary institutions.
Well, the weather report and forecast is coming next.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome to tonight's weather report and forecast. A few cold days ahead because of cooling southwesterly winds, which we're expecting of Matabeleland South and parts of Masvingo. Therefore, we urge you to take care. But for today, we had more of the cold conditions over areas such as Henderson, Maronda, Rachibero, and Mondoro, which recorded single digits in terms of our minimum temperatures over those areas. And with that, we had this cloud system that was approaching us from the west, which is causing mild conditions over those western parts of the country, drifting eastwards. So it should curb those cooling conditions that we had for today. But our system to watch is coming in all the way from the southwest, where we're expecting cooling winds to be driven into the southwestern part of the country, fetching as far field as Cape Town into the interior of Botswana and is spreading across the southwestern part of the country. But for today, we had more of the mild and scattered clouds over the interior of the country, which are spreading eastwards, causing those mild conditions to drift into the eastern parts. But here over the southwestern parts, areas such as Matabeleland South, we're seeing the fall of minimum temperatures, and our maximums should also follow suit, where we're expecting 24s and 25s into the southwestern parts. More warmer conditions are projected over the north. Thus, Bulawayo is falling to about 25 for tomorrow in terms of our maximum. Also, minimums falling to about 9 as we get into Friday, only increasing as we get into Monday next week. Therefore, it's a very cold mornings ahead for Matopo. Also the same with a slight chance of frost, especially on Friday, where our minimums are in the single digits, but our maximums warm up also into the weekend, as well as our minimums. For Gwanda, we're expecting that fall of minimum temperatures as well, but it warms up as we get into Monday and Tuesday. Our maximums also following suit, where we're getting those southwesterlies easing off as we get into the weekend. Fokwe, we're expecting just a slight chill in the first few days, but it warms up in terms of our maximums to about 28. Minimums also following suit with cooler conditions projected in the first few days. Mafshingo not left as well, where we're expecting minimums to drop but only increase as we get into Sunday and Monday next week. Mutare not much affected. We were expecting mostly 15s and 16s as we in terms of our minimums, and Anyanga also not affected as moisture is drifting into those northeastern parts of the country. Marondera also following suit with brief cloudy periods projected there. Odd shower too cannot be ruled out on Thursday and Friday because of that cloud system that is infiltrating those eastern parts of the country. And Harare also following suit with 27s projected as the maximums. Kadoma also under warmer conditions where we're expecting brief cloudy periods tomorrow. And Chinoi also with a bit of touches of cloud there, minimums not affected. Victoria Falls also not affected in terms of minimums, maximums in the warm category, and it's beautiful to be there. Pani also under warm conditions by afternoon, but the mornings tend to be rather chilly. Bindura in the mild category at first and warms up by afternoon with a bit of cloudiness here and there. Odd shower too cannot be ruled out. Kariba under beautiful sunshine with warm and mild conditions in the morning. And it's a beautiful way to end the weather. It's back to the news desk.
The Meteorological Services Department there with the weather report and forecast, bringing us to the end of tonight's main news.
Indeed, it's a good night from us. See you again tomorrow night.
It's not a U-turn.